Hey, before you watch this video, just know that myself, Parker, Sam, we've all worked very hard to make this video happen. Regardless of what Kappa does, this video is going to stay up for as long as humanly possible. The only other thing I wanted to say is that I do not own the music for the first 3.5 to 4 minutes of this video. The song you're about to hear features the voice of Alan Watts in a song called Overthinker by the artist INZO. I do not own this song in any way, shape, or form, nor do I plan to monetize this video whatsoever. This video is for you guys. Merry Christmas, and have a Happy New Year. Let's hop right in.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse science with the real world.
This is the beginning of meditation.
Most of us would have rather money than tangible wealth, and a great occasion is somehow spoiled for us unless photographed. And to read about it the next day in the newspaper is oddly more fun for us than the original event. This is a disaster, for as a result of confusing the real world of nature with mere signs, we are destroying nature. We are so tied up in our minds that we've lost our senses. Time to wake up. What is reality? Obviously, no one can say because it isn't words. It isn't material, that's just an idea.
One must live. We need to survive, to go on. We must go on.
Whoa, hey, how's it going? Sorry we're not on the sofa today, but you know, figured we'd change stuff up. It's a special video, a special new kind of setup for a very special occasion. As 2019 comes to a close, we are here to discuss the game of the year and the games that changed people's lives and influenced people to do some pretty crazy shit over the course of this year. Now, before this video starts, let's talk a little bit about Kappa and things of that nature. January 1st, 2020 is when COPPA's new rules come into play, and yeah, so with that being said, we're going to be doing a lot more adult-themed shit here on the TyGamer channel, especially to keep Let's Talk Gaming alive, as well as the channel itself. Now, if a fine does come, the channel will be permanently moved to Twitch. Obviously, that's not the hope, that's not the dream, but just has to be said. Anyway, this year has been full of release titles and games that have frickin' blown my mind personally, and many people I know as well. 2019 was a phenomenal year for gaming, with game releases such as Kingdom Hearts 3, Death Stranding, Jedi Fallen Order, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and many more. I'd just like to give a personal shout out to Sekiro Shadows Die Twice for winning this year's Game of the Year award. Congrats to you guys. Anyway guys, with that being said, let's jump right into today's video. It's going to be a little bit of a longer one, but I promise you, it'll be worth it. Let's go. My top 3 games of this year are Death Stranding, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Concrete Genie. And the reason that all these games are really important to me specifically is that Concrete Genie especially, like, really blew me away. It was kind of like a weird, I saw it, I liked the concept of it, so I bought it. I had no idea I'd fall so in love with that game. It's so very, very closely related to my life, especially as a young child, being an artist and doing all this other stuff, and people not really getting it or people not really liking it, and then people kind of pushing me around and like making fun of me, etc. But, you know, Concrete Genie takes place in this town that's like engulfed by darkness. It's not like covered in just darkness, but there are like these oily, like murky vines that come out of the water and like latch onto the town and the buildings, and everything is really like brown and gray and murky, and you're drawing on the pier and some bullies come up to you and they rip your sketchbook out of your hands and they scatter all the pages around, and they blow away in the wind and stuff like that, and they send you to the lighthouse where there's like a ghost per se, and it turns out that that ghost is a spirit who gives you the power to paint these things called genies on the walls to reignite and relight up the town. It's a really, really cute game. It's really fun. Personally, it's one of my top 3 this year because of how much it surprised me and how good it feels to play, especially. Plus how much I can relate to it. It's a really fun time. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely one of those games that came out of nowhere and blew me away, and I absolutely adore it. It's fantastic. Kingdom Hearts 3. Let's see. So, Kingdom Hearts 3, I literally beat it in like half a month because I was trying to make sure it didn't end for me. I've been waiting so long, like 12, 13 years of my entire life for this game to come out, and then when it did come out and I did pre-order it like a year in advance, I was like ready. I was ready to go. And you know, like when the delivery guy from UPS, I think it was, just like came to the door, I scared the absolute shit out of him because I ran straight up to the door, swung the door open with like these wide crazy eyes, and my hand reached out and he was like, here, and I took the game, ran inside, said thank you, slammed the door, ran back upstairs, put it in, got it all installed, which thank God it took little to no time at all, and I live streamed it instantly. Like, it's such a fun game, and I've been playing Kingdom Hearts games ever since I was a little kid. I think it was really cool because Kingdom Hearts 3, A, it's fucking beautiful, B, it is absolutely amazing. The story is still really kind of like all over the place, but it does kind of tie some stuff down factually, which I fucking adore. But, you know, it's really good. It's a great game, it's a fantastic title, and I would honestly recommend anybody play the Kingdom Hearts series. Seriously, one of my favorite series of all fucking time. Death Stranding, that is one hell of a game. It's kind of like a glorified walking simulator, but there's so much depth to it, and so many different story arcs within, the main narrative, that it's really like an extremely amazing driving force in gaming today. It's unlike anything I've ever played, and if you haven't yet played it, I highly recommend you give it a shot, because it is absolutely fantastic. Hands down, one of my favorite games of this year. It's beautiful. On a normal PS4, you can see every minor detail that Kojima Productions put their blood, sweat, and tears into making. The story, the animations of characters and actors and actresses, the actual scenes where you get to see BTs and you sneak in between all of them, and a bunch of stuff I won't completely spoil, but it's so fantastic. It is truly an open world game where you are in charge of plotting, exploring, planning, all this other stuff, and reconnecting the good old US of A. I made a video on it for the channel, and I am just absolutely in love with the game. I love it so much, and it's really a good game to play if you're like, I'm really tired and I don't want to go to bed, but you know, if you want to chill game, for the most part, there are some moments that get pretty crazy, and it's like 2 in the morning and you're awake like I am most of the time, then Death Stranding is definitely a good way to spend your time.
My top 3 games for this year would have to be Beat Saber, would have to be Minecraft, and Spyro Reignited. Those 3 games have been probably the most fun. And Minecraft is on that list still because I've been playing it since 2011. It's been one of my favorite games. It's been in there in my heart since then. It's always one of my favorite games to play. It's always got everything I need. If I'm just wanting to chill out, I want to play Minecraft. If I'm wanting to build something, I'll play Minecraft. You know, if I want to hang out with some friends, sometimes some friends just want to go PvP in Minecraft. It's always like the best choice for anything. Spyro Reignited is a great game, and is a game that was excited for when I first heard it was coming out. I was with the group that was like, it's being theorized, I don't know if it's a real thing, you know, until we saw the posts and all that, and we were all super excited. And then the day finally came, and that game was so fun. Because I've played the classic games before, and Spyro is one of my favorite video game characters of all time. I have played Reignited, I have played the Legend of Spyro series, I've played the other side games that we will not mention, and I've played the classics. I've played them all, and this new game is like a homage to everything because it has a style close to some of the previous games, and it's so fun to play. Beat Saber is my top game of this year, my favorite game. When I got the PlayStation VR as a graduation gift back in June, it was one of the first games I played, and I was immediately hooked. That game is so fun. If you don't know, my favorite genre of games, or my favorite kind of games to play, are any game with a challenge, a rhythm game, or the mix of both. You ever play Geometry Dash? Something like that. Geometry Dash, Audio Surf, just shapes and beats, but Beat Saber takes them all out of the park. It's so fun to play. It's like, oh man. It's also been a real workout too. I don't need to flex or anything, no. But it's honestly been a workout too. It's so fun to play. And all the songs are great, and hopefully I'm actually going to get a quest here soon, so I'm going to get to play all the custom songs and go all out.
So my top 3 games that I enjoyed the most this year are going to be, number 3 is going to be Man of Medan, number 2 is going to be Subnautica, and number 1 is going to be Sea of Thieves. Man of Medan is a game which is kind of like Until Dawn, if you've played that game, as they're both created by Supermassive Games, and it is an up-and-coming video game, like, I don't know how you call it, but it's an up-and-coming, like, type of video game, and it's a game that I really enjoyed. Every choice that you make in that game has consequences, and every choice that you make is also extremely important to the story. This game is fun because it is a first co-op game like it. You can play with you and your friends, and you can be scared shitless while doing so. But playing solo makes it more scary because you don't have someone to talk to, so it makes it pretty scary. But the story makes you so intrigued that you can't stop playing the game until you finish the story. And if you haven't heard of it or played it yet, I highly recommend you buy this game and play it. My second game of the year is Subnautica. Subnautica is an amazing game that I can't really do justice by talking about really quickly, but I'll try. Subnautica is a game that I really enjoyed, and it's a survival game on the surface. However, if you get deeper into the game and actually really start to dive into more of it, you'll realize that it's a survival game, but it's also mixed with a horror game. When you see all the mysterious alien creatures and the environment being entirely ocean, it gives you no sense of security, and the story tells you why you're stranded and why you can't just leave the planet. So like, you can't leave the planet unless you cleanse it. And I'm not going to spoil the story, but I really suggest you purchase it and finish the game, because this game, oh my goodness, it is so amazing. So my favorite game that I played this year is going to be Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves puts you in a position as a pirate. You can play solo, or you can play with like 3 of your friends, and you have different choices of 3 different ships. You got the sloop, which is like the fast one when you want to play solo or with one other person. You got the brigantine, which is the medium-sized ship, which you can use 3 or less people for, and you can use the sloop, which you can have 4, or you can have as many people as you want on, because the max is 4. So your main objective in this game is you want to be a pirate. You want to go on missions by collecting chests, killing undead pirate captains, and collecting their skulls. Or you can run missions to outposts by collecting chickens, pigs, or other items. However, this game is not only PvE, it's also PvP, where you can try to sink and steal other players' loot, and sell it for yourself to collect the money. And with the money, or the gold I guess, you buy cosmetics for the game, which I personally think is the right decision, because everyone is on the same playing ground. There's no pay to win. There's no... Yeah, everyone's just on an even playing field. And, it seems really fair. Like, if you do engage in PvP, you don't feel like you're losing because of pay to win. It's even, and then you just gotta adapt to skill for the game. I personally love that it's not pay to win, and Sea of Thieves is a game you need to try, as it has probably become, honestly, my new favorite game. So yeah.
Why did I pick those 3 games specifically? Well, Kingdom Hearts 3, for instance, is obviously a game I've waited a very, very long time for, 12 years of my life, and, it's one of those games that left a very big kind of lasting impact on me, just like the other 2 titles. It grabbed hold of me, and it really kind of expressed a lot of ideas that, I really thought were really cool, and it merges Disney and Final Fantasy characters and a few original characters together. It achieves this kind of beauty that you can only appreciate if you really are invested in both the story and the world that the game is building for you. It's also one of those things that's amazing to play, and you will sink hours and hours and hours of your life into it. It's beautiful. Death Stranding is one of those games that came out and kind of took my breath away. It's something that makes you kind of question what the hell a video game is, which I love, because, nowadays everything is changing so often that it's like what defines a genre is not necessarily what it used to be. And I think Hideo Kojima really, really succeeded with making a brand new kind of game. It's more like a movie than it is a game. It's absolutely stunning. The story is great. The amazing talent of very well-known actors and actresses all over the board, and it's amazing because Conan O'Brien is in the game, and come on. It's just one of those games that you have to play to understand, just like Kingdom Hearts 3. Concrete Genie, especially, is one of those games that kind of, again, for me, I never really looked into it. I saw the release trailer for it, and I was like, wow, that's a really cool concept, but I also don't know if they're going to be able to execute it, because painting with a DualShock at the time in my brain just sounded really stupid. But, you know, as you play it, in the beginning especially, like right at the beginning, it eases you in, and lets you paint things in your book, and it's fantastic work. So yeah, honestly, it's just like the really simple story of Concrete Genie 2, adding a little dash of basically Disney magic and making this kid's artwork come to life and help him get through challenges and, you know, like face the struggles of like bullies in everyday life while he tries to restore color to a town that is corrupted and completely abandoned by everybody. So I think it holds a very special place in my heart for that reason. All three of them do.
Okay, so I chose Man of Medan because I don't enjoy most horror games, but Man of Medan follows a very interesting story where you can control the story, and you can change the actions throughout the story based on decisions you make. You can't uncover all the secrets the first time you're playing. Like, it's just not gonna happen unless you look up a guide or something. You're not gonna get that platinum trophy first time. You're not gonna get a majority of the secrets first time. It's a pretty big game, so you can't uncover it. But I also picked this game because I've been waiting for many months, and you know, the hype did not disappoint. It was a great story, and you know, I loved the character development. However, the reason I did not put it higher is because horror games aren't really my cup of tea. But something that I did enjoy about the game is that I loved the character development. As I said earlier, it was great, and the character development, man, you just really feel like you're growing with the characters as they evolve throughout the story. And you know, that's something that I personally loved. I chose Subnautica because it is a game that I played and I really enjoyed the story of the game. You know, the story that was held inside of the game. The game took me so long to complete. It took me 1 day and 7 hours to beat the game in its entirety. However, the main reason why I chose this game is because me and my friends all installed a mod where we could play together, and it would be multiplayer, and it was some of the most fun that I had all year. And it might have been some of the most fun I've had in a video game experience ever. Subnautica has moved into my top 5 favorite games of all time. The experiences are priceless, and there are not many games that can captivate you as Subnautica does. Subnautica is a terrific game, and if you haven't played it yet, I highly suggest you do. It is full of many adventures, many frights, and many fun adventures that are held within. Plus, the story is pretty good as well. So I suggest you go and buy this game and you play through the story. Take however long you need. I chose Sea of Thieves because, as I mentioned earlier, it's my favorite game that I played this year. It's a fun game, but you're playing with your friends because you know you're the best. It's the best pirate game. You get to sink other players' ships. You can casually just chill on your ship. You collect treasure. But however, sometimes myself, I would log on and I'd just sail around the world on a solo ship. You know, it was just something so calming about the game. Something like no worries, just like you could sail anywhere, avoid other players, and it just gave me something to do when it was dark outside or it was cold outside and I couldn't go and I couldn't play football. I couldn't train for football. You know, it was something that just kept me entertained, and it wasn't boring. It was so fun just to sail the ship around, and it was relaxing. But the game is just so peaceful and calming. The skill gap is easy to catch up on if you haven't already started to play the game. They update the game like once every month, and not that much changes. So once you get caught up in the meta and you know what you're doing, you're gonna keep that skill because it's not gonna change a lot. Like how Fortnite changes every week, and if you don't play every like 3 days, you're gonna fall behind. No, this game, it is easy. It is easy to compete. It's easy to be one of the best players out there. Everyone's on an equal playing field. You just gotta take the time, work on your skill, and you can be great at that game too.
I say the game I spent the longest time on would have to be Beat Saber. Spent the most time on that. When I'd be here sitting at my computer animating something, I want to go take a break. And normally I would just go into the other room, play Beat Saber for about 15 minutes to an hour or so. And, you know, then I'd be so tired, sweaty, like, woo! And then I'd come back after I had like a drink or something. And I would be straight back into animating. It's been a good game to go on break with. It's a game that I've just been at least playing an hour of at least a day. At least every day. And it's honestly the reason why.
The game that I've spent the longest time on this year, Subnautica. So if you haven't played Subnautica yet, kind of a spoiler warning, you know. Subnautica was a fun experience because of the story that it was told. You start off by crashing on an alien planet after your ship got shot down from the planet. And you need to gather materials in order to go 1,700 meters deep in order to cure the planet. So that way you can escape, build your own rocket, and get off the ship. However, you need resources in order to build vehicles, in order to go deeper, in order so you can get off the planet. It's kind of hard to explain the story, but it was an awesome experience, a very unique experience that many games can't say that they have done. As I've said earlier, it made it into my top 5 favorite games of all time. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game. As I said earlier, it took me 1 day, 7 hours to complete the entire story. And you know, if you're looking for a game, if you're bored and you're looking for a game to play and you don't know what to do, play Subnautica. It's gonna give you something to do. You're never gonna be bored. You're always gonna be on the edge of your seat because it's kind of a horror game with all the terrifying monsters that are down there. So if you go, I promise you, there's gonna always be something for you to do. You're always gonna be needing to go get more materials. You're always gonna need to go deeper. You're always gonna need to be doing something. So that way, well, you can escape the planet. And you know, I highly recommend, highly recommend that you do it. So, Subnautica, the game I spent the most time on this year.
As far as games I've spent the most time with this year, I'd have to say Kingdom Hearts 3 takes the cake. Death Stranding, I've already spent close to 50 hours with. I'm not even halfway done with that game. But, you know, if we're talking about this year and the hours and time I've spent on a game the most, it'll probably be Kingdom Hearts 3, just due to the sheer fact that I've spent over 130 hours with the game, and that was just when it came out, and I still go back to it occasionally, trying to get that platinum trophy on PlayStation 4 and things of that nature. But, you know, honestly, it's one of those games that, as I've mentioned several times, kind of like took me by complete surprise because no one actually believed it was coming out, and then when it did come out, everyone was losing their shit over it. And you know, I scared a UPS man, and I was ready to play this game, so ready. And when I did, it was just one of those things that I couldn't put down. You know, like I'm so glad I finished God of War, by the way, because if I didn't, that would be on the back burner and I would never touch it because I would just be playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
my game of the year was Sea of Thieves. It was my game of the year because I really enjoyed spending lots of time with my friends, sailing across the world, going on adventures. You know, it was also appealing to me because you get to be a captain of a freaking ship, which was very fun for me. It's also fun because you live life as a pirate, such as like Captain Jack Sparrow and all sorts of those guys from Pirates of the Caribbean. After watching Pirates of the Caribbean movies, I found myself trying to imitate Jack Sparrow like all the time, just doing crazy stupid shit just because, you know, it was fun. Captain Jack Sparrow is awesome. You know, Sea of Thieves is not only a multiplayer game where you not only have to survive against other players, but you also have to survive against the environment trying to sink you and steal your treasures. Not only do you have players going after you to steal your treasures, you also got things such as krakens, ghost ships, and megalodons chasing after you, trying to sink your ship, making you lose all your treasures so you can't get the reward. And you gotta fight these things off. Players, megalodons, krakens, everything. And I'll tell you, it's a task in order to become rich in that game. But, you know, it's fun. And that's what makes the game so unique. The motive of the game is to get treasure and sell it for gold, basically. Whether that be finding the treasure yourself, stealing it from other players, but it doesn't matter. As long as you sell it to the person who wants it, it's yours. Doesn't matter if you go and dig it up. It doesn't matter if you steal off someone's ship at the outpost. You sell it, money's yours. But, you know, the best feature of this game is there's no pay to win. Everyone finds themselves at an equal level playing field, and you just need to trust your skills in order to survive the pirate world. There's nothing like advanced warfare where you needed to pay to get things such as the ASMR Speakeasy, the Bal 27 Inferno, the Bal 27 Obsidian Steed, stuff like that. You don't need to pay to win. It's easy to pick up on, and it's just a really fun game to play solo or with your friends. So that's why Sea of Thieves is my game of the year.
My game of the year, I'd say, again, would have to be Beat Saber. I'd spent so much time playing that game. It started out, you know, super slow, but the thing is, I'm so used to playing games fast, which is also why I speedrun games every now and then. Is like, so you start out the game, you start out, okay, I'm gonna get used to it, do an easy level. This is really slow and easy. I immediately jumped to hard, did hard for a little while, for at least just a good few weeks. But I was starting to get like, okay, this is slow, this is too easy, and I moved on to expert, and I was actually at expert for a little while, and I was just grinding up levels, going really good with them going, it was fun. And then I only got to expert plus, I want to say a good 7 months ago, or a good few months ago, and I've just been playing expert plus levels ever since, and I'm still trying to get used to those, but they're still fun to play, way more fun than the others. Holy crap. I can't wait to play the custom songs here when I get the quest, because I'm going to play all those crazy levels. I want to get pretty good at the game. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, that would have to be my game of the year. Beat Saber is just that #1 game to me. It's so fun.
Alright. Yep, we got here. This is how it happens. This is where it goes down. My game of the year is not Death Stranding, surprisingly to some. You know, I love Death Stranding a lot, but I haven't finished it yet. And while I could say, yes, what I've played so far is enough to let me believe that it could be my game of the year, I can't say it is, because my game of the year goes to Kingdom Hearts 3. I waited 12 years for this game to come out, and when I got it, I didn't stop playing it until it was over. It's the only game I touched for basically 6 or 7 days, and it was amazing. And I loved every second of it. I cannot express to you the love I have for this series. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite series of all time, next to Yakuza and amazing games like the Dishonored series and things of that nature. I love all video games, but if one video game really blew me away this year, it's definitely Kingdom Hearts 3, and that's why Kingdom Hearts 3 has its top spot on my list for 2019.